An absolutely crushing defeat if you are Mike Brown and the Sacramento Kings tonight. A battle of the 7th and the 6th ranked teams in the Western Conference. The Kings play. What can I say, guys? And I want to get everyone's reaction as well. We'll be taking your calls tonight. So make sure you're scanning that QR code that's above my shoulder. You can also hit the link in the chat if you'd want to come up and talk to us. Grant may or may not be showing up tonight. So we will see. We are efforting him, but the Kings lose in Phoenix 130 to 125. They head into Denver tomorrow night. Second night of a back-to-back, a Denver team that's lost 2 games in a row, which is a lot for them. And that losing streak, if you want to call it a losing streak, started with the Sacramento Kings. So you know Michael Malone's going to have something ready for the Kings, and the Denver Nuggets are going to be ready to play. On the other side, we'll talk about the game. We're going to talk about the things that went wrong and the things that went right. Domantas Sabonis, what can you say about him? He is playing the best basketball of his life. Tonight, De'Aaron Fox shows up. We've been asking, where is De'Aaron Fox? The last 11 games coming in tonight, De'Aaron Fox averaging 21, just over 21 points a game, far below his season average. De'Aaron Fox shows up tonight, 40 points, yet it is not good enough for the Sacramento Kings to beat the Phoenix Suns. Could we talk about Malik's foul? Sure. Could we talk about Harrison Barnes still being in the game at the end? Sure. Could we talk about no challenge at the end? Maybe. Are we nitpicking? Yeah, at that point. But let's talk about the stone cold facts. Your Sacramento Kings are not better than the Phoenix Suns. Put them in the list, the column of the teams Grant, Jerry, and I talk about all the time that we worry about should the Kings see those teams in the playoffs. Well, Kings fans, are the Kings going to make the playoffs? This is a very, very tough stretch for them, but let's not even go there yet. Let's get back to tonight. It's always the residual guys around the Kings that kill them for other teams that come into Golden One Center. For the Kings, when they go on the road, Grayson Allen tonight, Royce O'Neal tonight. I mean, Kevin Durant, sure. I'm probably just as tired as all of you of hearing that Undertaker tone every time Kevin Durant scored, but he gets 28 tonight. Not terrible, not terrible whatsoever. Nurkic doesn't really give you much. You hold Booker. Granted, Booker scores 20 in the second half, 20 in the second half, only had 5 at halftime. And then you get 19 from Grayson Allen. We can go down the bench. The fact of the matter is the Kings have a much better bench than the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns, while they are playing better basketball, that's now 4 of 5 for them that they've won. And they're only lost in that stretch, a 1-point loss to the Golden State Warriors, who are playing much better basketball right now. But this Phoenix Suns team, outside of their 3 stars, that's it. And then, my goodness, I haven't even mentioned Eric Gordon. So at the end of the day, think about it. This Suns team is better than this Kings team. Right now, there's still 29, 30 games left in the season, but that's the reality of it. So out of the teams that are currently in the playoff hunt in the Western Conference, who are you confident in that the Kings can beat? I don't know at this point. And Again, the troubling part right now, Domantas Sabonis, another triple-double. Another. He gets his 50th career triple-double tonight. De'Aaron Fox, 40 points. Malik Monk. How about Malik Monk? You got Reggie Miller calling him the 6th man of the year. I understand Trey Lyles was out tonight. I get it. So you're missing Trey Lyles. You don't have Sasha. Okay, Sasha hasn't been playing that much. There's a lot to talk about. And Kings fans, I've done my share of talking. I want to hear from you. So let me know your thoughts on the game. There is much to digest here. How are you feeling about this team headed into Denver tomorrow night? Again, back-to-back games for this Kings team against the Denver Nuggets. That's going to be a tough task. In just a second, I am going to get to your calls. This is the Kings postgame show on If You Don't Like That.
3, 2, 1, go.
Sacramento miscue. Carter, stolen by Williams. And look at this. Oh, you don't like that. You don't like NBA basketball.
Fox, goodbye. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. The exclamation point from De'Aaron Fox. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball.
Boy, that's an ESPN highlight right there. Whoa. Carlson comes in. How about this? Holy moly, Jim Bob Foley. That is a major league smush.
Hey, welcome back in. I'm Ryan in Sacktown. This is the Kings postgame show on If You Don't Like That. Little bit of a long open, but I felt like it is something that we did need to talk about, at least need to put out in the open. Want to get your thoughts again. Kings lose tonight 130 to 125. We are going to start the phones off tonight with Condog 209. Condog, welcome into the show.
Well, so my thoughts are the same thoughts I'm going to have with the Pelicans and the Clippers is teams that are just longer than us are just going to give us trouble. They just are. The teams that have those really guys with those really long arms, you know, like a Brandon Ingram, a Kevin Durant and stuff, it's going to give us trouble. We just don't have a guy that can add that length on a you know, a wing, like a power forward area. And it's just going to be trouble for us to get through. And tonight, again, it was a 3-man show versus, you know, about a 6-man show from Phoenix. And that's what happened in the Warriors series too last year. You know, it was just mainly Monk, Fox, and Sabonis. And that's exactly how far I think this team's going to go with the way they're playing, is probably a first-round exit.
Yeah, I said it at the top. You gotta wonder what's going to happen with this team if they end up in a play-in scenario. Can they get to a play-in scenario? I think they can. Let's not overreact. It's just you look at the set of circumstances in front of this team, Condog. They're going into Denver tomorrow night, and you've got King starters that played heavy minutes tonight. I mean, what do you remember when the Kings played Denver last time and how dead tired the Nuggets are? You got to think the Kings are going to be right up there. I mean,
yeah, they're going to look for revenge.
Yes, Sabonis 39 minutes, Barnes 37, Murray 33, Fox 40. You saw the spat with Herter and Coach Brown. We'll probably get some more audio on that here in a few minutes, but appreciate the call, Condog. We got some other people that want to get on, but thanks for being here as always.
I'll be here.
Yep. So the one thing I do want to address really quick before we go back to the phones is the length problem. It's nothing new. It's something that this team's known about since last year. I get that guys have kind of grown into specifically Keegan Murray, their positions a little bit more this season, but the Kings decided to run it back. They didn't see it as that big of a problem, or they thought they had some type of scheme plan to combat it. it continues to be a problem. And it's something that, again, you're going to see on a nightly basis in the NBA. We go back to the phones. Tremaine, welcome to the postgame show. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Ryan, I'm doing well. That was kind of frustrating. Can you agree on that? Like that was the most frustrating thing about this game is that we had the game in our hands tonight.
Yes.
We could have won. We should have won. We had plenty and many opportunities to win, but we didn't. And, it's like this team this year is like either we win by 30 or we lose by 30. And then the close games are like, okay, we should have won every single one of those. But I wanted to ask you this. So with De'Aaron Fox, obviously he scored 40 plus points, right? Everyone's like, oh, he scored all these points. But do you feel like because he's the star, there's a lot of plays where he just takes it himself? He tries to do the whole Kobe method where he doesn't pass it. He goes all the way. He tries to force. He takes a shot and then he misses it. And, there's a lot of other guys that are open that we could make. Like when he's selfish, I feel like that's the worst part of his game because, there's so many other guys that are out there that can make plays. And when he tries to force it, he just ends up missing. And then we give there were so many times tonight that happened. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, it's a good question. Do I think he gets a little too selfish? I don't think he gets too selfish. I think if he's not taking that shot, what's the next alternative, right? You're looking at Sabonis, you're looking at Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, right? Those are
all great options. All great options.
All great options, depending on the night it is, right? And I think that's kind of what troubles me about tonight. I mean, you had your 4 core players. I know Keegan didn't really do much offensively, only 6 points tonight, but your other guys played really well, and you still lose the game. Now, going back to De'Aaron, here's how I'm going to answer that question. I think for the face of the franchise, I think for somebody that's in their 7th year, or 7th or 8th year, 7th year, and somebody that feels like they should have been in the All-Star game. A lot of fans feel that way as well. I think De'Aaron's shot selection can be very poor down the stretch. And I don't think, though, that is a De'Aaron exclusive problem. We see that from Malik Monk at times. We've seen that from other Kings. Davion Mitchell had a 3 tonight. Although he was wide open, I did not think that was a good shot for Davion. So what I'm saying is I need more towards the basket for De'Aaron Fox and less fading away from the basket, Tremaine.
Yeah, absolutely. And also not to mention the free throws, which I did just mention. Like if we were to make our free throws, we would have won the game. I'm just saying. We would have won the game.
But again, Tremaine, it's not a new problem, right?
I know. Well, that's the problem though, because it's not a new problem. It's the same old problem. So it's like, hey, we know we have a problem. Guys, you guys cannot leave until you make 10 free throws in a row. Like what do you do in that situation to make these guys make these free throws and take it serious? Because Monk missed some easy free throws. De'Aaron Fox, he had the flagrant foul. That was like a whole turning of events. Like Kings were coming back on that, like the whole flagrant foul, they come back. Then he misses both.
But he misses both free throws, yet the Kings go on an 8-0 run.
I know.
To tie the game up after that.
But if you add the free throws in with it, it's like, that's gravy,
Well, and so, 100%. It's not a new problem. You can lock these guys in the gym all day. I am convinced it's a mental issue. There's something going on. You know how golfers can get the yips. You look at the numbers, and I don't want to go too much into last year, but you look at the year-over-year numbers for free throw percentage. The Kings are down 6% this year as a team, which is significant. And when you get to the playoffs, you absolutely have to be able to make free throws. And again, tonight they don't do it. Tremaine, I don't think you've called before. I appreciate you calling.
It's my second call. It's my second call.
Okay.
Yeah. San Diego State in the house.
Yes, that's right.
Alma
that's
mater.
right.
Yes. Thank you so
I
much
appreciate you. Yeah,
But okay,
absolutely.
what real quick.
Yeah.
I will say I do think the Kings will turn it on in the like the last few games and in the playoffs. I think that this team will turn it on in a way that they didn't last year. I have hope for that. That's what I'm saying. I have hope that we will bring it on, turn on the Jets. For that last one.
Tremaine, I'm with you, brother. I just hope this team can get there. And thank you again for the second call, and keep calling, man. Thank you so much.
I will. Thank you, guys.
All right. To address that really quick, I hope the team can get to that point, because I don't disagree with Tremaine. I think if the Kings do, get to the playoffs and they happen to be playing good basketball at that time, I don't think there's a team in the Western Conference that wants to see them. But is this team mentally strong enough to get to the playoffs? Can they get through a difficult stretch, which, not saying they can't win tomorrow night, but it is going to be an extremely tough uphill battle for this Kings team. Hey, we're going to go back to the phones. Great call so far tonight. We welcome in David to the show. Welcome to the show, David.
Yo, what's going on, Ryan? So now that all the angry thoughts are out of my head,
yeah.
I mean, we look at the box score. We get 40 points from Fox.
Yep.
Which is great to see. You get a 30-point triple-double from Sabonis, which is, basically routine now for him. And not an all-star still, by the way. But you get two performances from your two top guys like that, and, you just fall short. And that you look back and it was a great game. So, we're competing and we're in it, and the Suns, what do you think? Are they title contenders in your opinion?
No, absolutely not. No, I don't see any way. They're too thin inside. They're way too thin.
Sure.
I know they brought in O'Neal, and then also injuries. Bradley Beal, he goes down tonight with a hamstring. I'm not convinced that Booker's gonna make it to the end of the season, but the rest of the Western Conference has been very healthy this year, so I very well could be wrong.
Well, just what I saw was, Kevin Durant is in this few last years of his prime here, I think.
Yes.
And him and Devin Booker getting hot in the second half was crazy, by the way.
Yes.
But they were just going bucket for bucket with us. And so the question I'm going to go out of here with is, why does every team we play turn into the 2016 Warriors? Because we've seen it with the Cavs.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, the Cavs, they're a good team. They're on the come up, right? But then the Pistons do it to us. And they're knocking down triple after triple. And then tonight, Eric Gordon's flooding them from logo range almost. But, I saw effort tonight, and, I didn't see the nonchalantness. And I mean, I thought we played a not a complete game, but, what we would like to see every night. So,
yeah. And so David, let me ask you this before you go, because I know you left me with that question, but do you feel like the Kings got beat by a better team tonight? Like the Suns are just a better team than the Kings?
They shot better tonight.
Okay. All right. You think it was just the shooting? That's the tip of the nod.
They were knocking down shots.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
I mean, there was definitely moments where we beat ourselves, and I'm sure they would like to have a few things back too. But at the end of the day, I mean, they were knocking them down.
Yeah, this is true. All right, David, I appreciate the call, man, and I will take that question off the air, my friend. All right, that is David. We're getting some great calls tonight. David asked the question, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this up really quick for you. Now, this is credit to Will Z Stats. If you don't know Will Z Stats, go follow him on Twitter. Go follow his website. I believe it's willzstats.com. This is a chart, and this was up until just, I want to say, the start of the week, or the end of last week, excuse me. So what you're looking at is 3-point percentages by the Kings' opponents so far this season. So on one side, you've got what teams average against the rest of the NBA, and then you have what they're averaging against the Kings. So I don't need to explain what you see here. Many of the percentages are much higher. So, David, to answer your question quite simply, what happens is other teams are coming into Golden One Center, or the Kings are hitting the road, and they're not closing out defensively properly. They're not closing out on the perimeter. When they don't close out on the perimeter, they're either out of position or they take a bad angle. When that happens, it allows guys to blow by. That means somebody else has to step up, and that leaves a wide open three for your opponents. So tonight, Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, guys like that, they're getting wide open looks, and they're NBA players. So most times they're going to make it. So what happens is you let these guys get into the flow, and before you know it, it's open season, and the other teams are rolling offensively. So if you have to point to something, how do you not point to that? Again, credit to Will Z's stats. I've talked about it this season. Other teams shooting a high percentage from beyond the arc against the Kings. I asked Jerry about it as well. So that, to me, David, is the explanation. We got a lot of people that want to get on, so we are going to go through these. Let's get to Chang. Chang, welcome to If You Don't Like That. Thanks for calling tonight.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. I just have maybe a more positive question regarding the team. So it seems Monty and everyone kind of believes in this core, and this might be, a lot more extreme, but what performance would this team have to do where you would make no off-season moves, where you would believe that this core is something to believe in? Because it seems that this team still loves to play together, but I think the eye test from everyone kind of seems that there's something that we need to improve. But if they make a Western Conference final, would you feel like we want to keep this team, or regardless, do you think we still need to make moves?
Thanks for the question, by the way, Chang, and appreciate the call. So here's how I'm going to answer that. I don't think there's anything the Kings can do in a positive light or a bad light or a negative light this season that would change the Kings or alter them making moves in the offseason. I think it's set in stone that they have to make moves. You cannot run it back a second season. I mean, you got your answer to running it back this year. 6 teams have already passed the offensive rating the Kings set last year, which was the highest in the history of the NBA. So quite simply, the NBA has gotten better. So the Kings have to keep up with that. So even if they win a championship, they're making moves. Now, Chang, does the core change? No. The core of this team does not change. The focus becomes targeting in on Keegan Murray. Do any changes happen? Does the core change? That's a good question. I don't know, Chang. Let's see how the rest of the season plays out. So moves will be made. It's just a matter of if they're on the peripheral or if it's going to be more. We go back. We're going international. Baki, welcome to the show. How you doing, my friend?
No, it's okay. But you said you have much to digest, but only one thing you will never digest with this team because it's undigestible, and you know what it is. Those defense. I mean, the key for the Kings' progression is defense. Definitely,
Yes.
There's no doubt about it. So we all know NBA is the offense league, but you will see the majority of the teams are at least trying to play it. Kings are stuck there, no progress at all in the defense at all. I mean, we now depends only of those guys if they're gonna make 140, 150% of the game, and that's it. I mean, we can talk about Fox decisions. Sabonis is definitely top star of this team. Fox is not, if you ask me.
I'm with you.
Okay. So you're now in some kind of, I don't know, cross you're gonna go left or right. You're gonna put up some defense, maybe if you can do it, or you're gonna go straight with your offense and try to beat those teams. I mean, Phoenix is nothing. That was a stupid game to watch, if you ask me. You watch two teams playing no defense at all. They even laughed in the halftime. You heard Reggie. He said, "Okay, they're gonna score 100 in the halftime," and they laughed. So
yeah,
nobody takes us serious. Nobody takes Phoenix serious.
They
I
don't.
don't take them serious at all, because they are playing the same. If we're gonna shot, we're gonna score. If we're not gonna score, it will happen what will happen. And I don't know. Now I'm definitely sure that we don't have any chance to put this defense a little bit up from this point. I don't know if it's coaching staff issue or it's individual players psychological issue. I don't know what it is, but there's no progress in defense an inch.
Baki, you raise a few very good points, and they're all questions I can't answer. Quite frankly, they're questions that should be asked to Mike Brown. And I hope they are asked to Mike Brown, because I think that was a little part of the undercurrent at Monty McNair's press conference. I think there was some, I don't want to say reports, but some suspicions of tension between just that. Is this team going to break and, try to be better defensively, or are they going to just go all in offensively and try to just be that much better on that side of the ball? And it seemed like Monty McNair was trying to paint a picture of a comprehensive unit, which by all accounts they appear to be. But I just don't think, Baki, we think about pitchers in baseball, right? They're specialized. They only pitch outside of Ohtani. But okay, what did they do before they got to the major leagues, right? Like, they hit too. Like, they hit when they were kids in Little League and Babe Ruth. And so I look at this basketball team, and at times they can play good defense. I shouldn't say good defense. They can do certain things on defense very well, like stealing the ball, getting in passing lanes, taking charges.
Right now, but you have the worst team in the league, a few worst team in the league. They are toying with Kings in the defense. I mean, offensively. So Detroit, Portland, everybody can score any single play.
It's spot on, Baki.
That's unbelievable. I never seen something like that. Never. And I watch basketball a lot.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Probably your best call, best contribution, basketball wise, to this show. You were spot on. You raised valid concerns, and you're right. The rest of the NBA can score. So, what's the secret sauce for the Kings besides Sabonis? So, hey, Bach, I got to get to some other people on the phones, but I really appreciate you calling, bud. All right, have a good one. Hey, really quick, before we get to Alex, I appreciate you holding. I just want to remind you, if you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe to Grant's YouTube channel. That's right. That's where we post all of our shows, original content, and rants all the time. So hit that QR code, and then also go to Apple or Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts, and go check out the King's Court. That is my daily podcast, under 5 minutes, short form. Get you all the information you need, free to you. So go check that out. That is some good stuff as well. Everybody's calls tonight have been excellent. I have not even gotten to the written chat. I promise I will get there soon. We're going back to the phones. Alex, my man, who calls in from time to time. How you doing, bud?
Good. How about yourself, Ryan?
I'm doing great. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, so before I put on the show, I wanted to bring up a few points, but when I was listening to you, you brought up a fantastic point about the free throw being mental. So just, real quick, I have a background in sports psychology, And one of the first things they tell you is when that stuff starts happening mentally, quickly you start getting physicality over form. And you see that. I saw it today with Fox. The first time he missed, he didn't shoot it. He pushed it the second time. He wanted to will it in. He didn't form it in. He tried to will it in. So it is getting mentally in his head, because then all the hours and hours of practice he does, the perfect form or whatever he does, he didn't do that when he was missing. He was just trying to force it in. So I think you were 100% spot on it being mental.
Alex, I appreciate it. Can I ask you this? Are you noticing anything? And I don't mean to put you on the spot. I don't know whether you can comment or not on these things, but is there anything you're noticing otherwise in the Kings' body language that point to frustration or point to anything that may be mentally plaguing them as a team?
Yeah. So again, thank you for giving me that chance to say. One of the first things I noticed from this year compared to last year is the shoulders, and you don't see it all the time, but you see the shoulder slump. You see it with Fox. You see it with Herder a lot. You don't really see it with Sabonis too much, but you do see it. And once Fox does it, it does kind of trickle down. And it's not that they're giving up, but you just see like, oh, they kind of accept it. Like, here we go again. Whereas last year, I feel like maybe because nobody knew about the Kings, we were up and coming. They were just playing with so much fire and energy. This year, people have hours and hours of film, and they're not taking the Kings lightly no more. But you see it so much on the shoulders. Just when we can't make a shot, we can't get a call on the whistle. You just see a lot of frustration, shoulders down, and almost like, and maybe people can comment, but you almost feel like, okay, we'll lose this one, it's fine. And we did not see that a whole lot last year. Last year, you saw this team trying to edge out every single victory. This year, it seems like when things got tough, we kind of just said, all right, we'll get blown out today. It's all good. And you see that a lot again from the shoulders. So I don't like to see it. I hope I'm even wrong about that, but I've been noticing that a lot.
Yeah, and you are a sports psychologist?
So I have a background in it. I don't have my doctorate yet, but I'm in that field.
Oh, very cool. Well, hey, you know what? I appreciate your input. I mean, obviously, what you study. So I think we as Kings fans, we've all been trying to kind of put our finger on whatever may be going on, and that could be part of it. Absolutely. I mean, there's been a change with this team, and you're right to a degree when sometimes maybe it starts with Fox, maybe it starts with somebody, but there will be a point every game where, you kind of do see something like that. And unfortunately, it is different from last season, but great observation, Alex. And I really appreciate the call. What's your prediction for tomorrow in Denver? What do you think?
If it's been going the way it's been going this year, back-to-back, hard team, tough loss, with these unpredictable Kings, we win by 20. Just because.
All right.
Because all signs point to we're gonna get destroyed. We already have our shoulders down.
Yeah.
We got beat up today by a team that realistically has 3-4 solid good players, and we're gonna end up beating the world champs by 20 tomorrow. But again,
all right.
It just you just never know. You never know.
That's the Kings for you. That's Kings basketball. I
appreciate the time, Ryan. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. Appreciate it. You make the show better, dude. Alex is awesome. Appreciate that. That's interesting insight. And again, Alex, he's just giving his opinion. We are not saying that is medically going on or mentally going on with any Kings, but it is an interesting take because, look, we're not getting a ton of answers from this team when things aren't going well. And part of the theme of tonight is when things are good, things are good. And when things are bad, things are bad. So I said on my Kings Court podcast a couple games ago when Fox and Monk took the podium together after the win against the Nuggets, I'm like, that's awesome, right? They did that after the Clippers game last season, the double overtime game. But okay, great. Things were awesome that night. How about when things are bad, like tonight? When, yes, pretty much anybody that played considerable minutes tonight or meaningful minutes tonight can point to a player or two that they could have done something better or done something different. So nobody is excused from it, but those are the nights. De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, come up to the podium Seriously, not trying to get upset. Like, we tell us. I think there's been this veil that's been kind of pulled over this Kings season with communication with the fan base and just trying to figure out what's going on. So I don't know. I'm rambling, but hey, really quick before we go back to the phones, I do want to tell you about one of our favorite places to go, and in fact, someplace where Grant, Jerry, myself, and Grant's friend, who is a Major League Baseball umpire, Brian Knight, had lunch today, and it was absolutely amazing. Grant, Jerry, and I all had the redfish. Brian had a Caesar with shrimp, and many of you have been to Bennett's. You know the quality of the food. Just prime cuts of steak, great sandwiches, great seafood. And oh, by the way, they've got amazing specials, happy hour, brunch on the weekends, Monday night dinner special. Go check that out. So go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. You can check out menus. You can check out reservations. You can buy gift cards. And by the way, if you like doing to go, or you got an office that's going to do a big catering order, think about Bennett's. They're pretty good at that too. So we love Brian and his team. Bennett's 3 locations, one in Roseville, another, the Bennett's West Side Grill in Rockland, and in Sacramento off of Howe in Fair Oaks. That is Bennett's. We absolutely love them. And again, such a fun lunch today with those guys. Go check out Grant's Twitter page. I think he put a picture of us up at lunch, but we had a really good time. I love all the phone calls. You guys are bringing it tonight. So we are playing the hot hand. We bring in Victor. Victor, welcome to the show.
Hey, Ryan, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for calling in.
Grant, if you're watching, love you. So, I mean, Ryan, I might start going to Kings road games. I'm guaranteed free Chick-fil-A.
Free Chick-fil-A. Yeah. In Sacramento, you get Crumble. Crumble might be out of business if they did that when the Kings missed 2 free throws at home, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Free throws, obviously, killing us.
Yeah.
And then you could easily bring up Devin Booker. I'm sure you saw it. Literally convinced the referees that it was out on Keegan Murray. Like, that was pretty ridiculous. He clobbered Sabonis in the last 30 seconds. That should have been an and 1. So little things like that kind of easily could have swayed the game in our favor. I think you hit the nail on the head mentioning the defense is primarily the reason why teams keep just lighting us up behind the arc. But in the first half, we saw that the Kings were playing really good defense, right?
Yeah.
Didn't
I
do
mean,
too bad
considering the opponent,
Right.
It was good defense.
Yeah, so the ability is there, but for some reason in the second half, we just fell apart defensively. De'Aaron Fox, you can tell he's trying. He's averaging 3.5 steals in the month of February, so he's doing pretty good on that end. And I want to leave you with one question.
Yeah.
I love Keegan Murray, but every time I watch him, especially today, he gets the ball, takes one dribble, hesitates, passes the ball. Do we shop him in the offseason, or do we play it out with him?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I appreciate the call, Victor, and you make some good points about tonight. And hang in there. The Kings will hopefully turn this around. You don't need to go to away games. Do the Kings shop Keegan Murray? I don't think so. No. A few reasons. The first is he has made, in my opinion, a bigger jump between year 1 and year 2 than De'Aaron Fox. Look at De'Aaron Fox in year 7. And here's the other thing I'll say. Keegan Murray is doing it on both sides of the court. He is getting some of the most difficult matchups night in and night out. He's only in his second year. He has not played a full second season. And by the way, let's rewind the tape 6 months when Keegan Murray broke the rookie 3-point shooting record. What was the principal complaint about Keegan Murray? It was he's a one-trick pony. He's a spot shooter. What has he done this year? Keegan Murray has become a threat from the mid-range offensively. He's learned in his short time in the NBA and with a changing body. Look at how his body changed from year 1 to year 2. He's learning how to use his body to his advantage in drawing fouls. So no, the Kings don't shop him, just in my opinion, based off of that alone. But then you bring in the new CBA. That's a whole nother ball game. You got to keep Keegan here, in my opinion. You don't move it. Charles, welcome to If You Don't Like That. I appreciate you hanging on there. How you doing tonight?
What's up, Rana? Good evening, man.
Yeah, good evening, bud.
So I got two questions. Both of them revolve around the bench. So my first question is, so like tonight, looking at the box score, right?
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Monk, Mitchell was the only one that scored points, and he only scored 3. So I feel like the bench has been very inconsistent this season. And I thought like in the beginning of the season it made sense, you know. They kind of were trying to get their stuff together with the new additions of McGee and Duarte, but it's kind of lingered on me about how they haven't been able to like solidify like playing well with each other. So do you attribute the bench inconsistency with how Mike Brown has just been kind of all over the place with his rotations?
Yeah, great question, by the way. I do personally, and here's why. Almost every King that's been in the rotation, let's say for a couple of games, right? Or for Grant and I go by 5-game segments. So you get a King that's been in that rotation, gets pulled out of that rotation. Once they get another opportunity, more times than not, they come in and play really well and they affect the team in a positive manner. So that tells me those guys are staying ready. Mike Brown's rotation this year has been so inconsistent. So if you're a guy like a Davion Mitchell, and last year, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I was the guy that's like, look, you're an NBA player. You need to be able to play when your number's called. Like it's not one of those things where you get 4 or 5 minutes and then you get into the flow. No, you be ready. Well, no, Davion's been getting spot duty. Now he gets consistent minutes. He's contributing. Outside of Trey Lyles and Malik Monk, tell me another guy off the bench that is really that is going to play 15 to 18 minutes a game.
Yeah, I can't really name one off the top of my head. I mean, maybe there's some, I don't know, some geniuses with like 6 heads out there that could, but I can't.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. And think about last year too. I mean, the only big change that we saw in Mike Brown's rotation was when he would insert Davis into the lineup for some offense. And obviously Davis isn't here anymore, but we've seen a lot more tinkering, in my opinion. It just seems like Mike Brown can't make his mind up.
Yeah, I agree with that. Real quick before I get to my next question, shout out to Terrence Davis. I wish he could get on the team. He deserves it. And I feel like Len's a good like subject to lead into my second question, because these past 2 games against OKC and this game, we've seen him start to get playing time again. But before that, we were seeing the JaVale McGee stretch.
Yes.
Do you think that Coach Brown, come the end of the season / postseason, hopefully we get there, do you think he will have solidified a bench rotation by then?
I would hope so, but I doubt it. I mean, tonight there was only 30 games after tonight, or tonight was the 30th last game, but I don't have that off the top of my head. No, I don't think that you're going to have anything solidified. I would be surprised. Mike Brown's made it very clear he's going to play both of them based off of matchups. Quite frankly, I am of the opinion Len should get the minutes. Len is the one that was playing really good up until he got that high ankle sprain. And here's the other thing that I don't think enough people are talking about, Victor, is when Alex Len comes into the game with the second unit, the Kings don't have to change the way they play too dramatically with that second unit. When JaVale McGee is in that second unit, it's a completely different scheme offensively. It's not as free flowing. It's a lot of pick and roll, and there's nothing wrong with that. Malik Monk is a good pick and roll point guard, but Alex Len gives you, and he is not Sabonis. I want to be clear, not Sabonis, but he gives you the closest thing that the Kings have to Sabonis in terms of presence and play.
That's pretty accurate, I know. Hey, thanks for taking my call. Real quick before I go, congrats on 7K on the YouTube channel. That's a pretty big milestone.
I appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? Thank you for recognizing that. I told Grant about a week ago when it hit. So thank you for pointing that out. Really appreciate that. I'll let him know too. I'm sure he'll
have a good night, man.
All right,
thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, of course. You guys are killing the phones tonight. You absolutely are. And we are going to go right back there unless, you know what? He dropped off. So, all right. We will, you know what? I am sorry. I've not gotten to your comments. And this has been a little bit longer of a post-game show because a lot going on. It is still not too late to join the show. If you would like to join the show, I am Ryan in Sacktown handling things for Grant tonight. John jumping in. Len's not a good player. I'm sorry. He bobbles the ball every time he gets past the ball. I don't think it's every time. But I disagree, but fair enough. I appreciate the opinion. Keep him coming. Keep him coming. I would want to see Len get more time than McGee. What's up, Lids? How you doing? Corinthians, we're getting some more Len. Okay, Lids. Let's not get too dramatic. They're doing just fine. Okay. Monty did the absolute best thing he could have done at this trade deadline, which was stay put, don't overpay. That's exactly what they did, because if Monty knew, looking at the schedule, that games like this would be a challenge. So if games like this are a challenge, there's not anybody that was available for a price that the Kings could pay that would have made the Kings better tonight to win, or make them better to make the playoffs or go on a run later tonight. So that's just the way that I see it. But yeah, so the Kings lose tonight. Disappointing fashion, 130 to 125. A lot to pick apart. I'm very anxious to hear Mike Brown's comments after the game and to hear what some of the other guys have to say after the game. And remember too, this is a Phoenix team that lost Bradley Beal in the first half tonight, despite Domantas Sabonis with another triple-double, the 50th of his NBA career, 50th of his career. Not enough to get it done tonight. Man, tough one for the Kings. Head tomorrow to Denver. It's going to be, you know what? We're going to see quickly what this Kings team is made of tomorrow. And don't put it past them to bounce back. I think that Sabonis, you can't bet against this team when Sabonis is playing this kind of basketball. And when I say bet, you can't say they don't have a chance. So normally we get you to the NBA update. We get you to some more details, but your calls tonight have been excellent. We thank everybody for your chats. I'm sorry I haven't gotten as many of them up. The phone calls, excellent. First-time callers, keep it coming, please. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And by the way, Thursday, we are going to change this up, and we'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. But Thursday, we're going to do Grant and Jerry Reynolds, and we'll talk about the first half of the season up until the All-Star break. And then also make sure that you're here tomorrow night. We'll have full coverage of the Kings. Grant will be back here on If You Don't Like That, and we'll have Jerry at halftime as well. So again, do us a favor. Oh, you know what? We got somebody else that wants to get on the action. I am all up for more calls. Oh, wait. Really? Never mind. We're going to end the show. I'm not taking this call. Wait, Zach, how'd you get on the air?
Come on, you know I have to say something after this match.
What's up, man?
How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing good.
This game, look, I mean, we got the Fox game that we wanted. We got a big Sabonis game that we wanted. Just absolutely incredible games from them. Monk played pretty well. Loved his. He was, he's the only one that can really do anything off the bench. So it's good to see him do his thing. But everyone else has got to do more work, man. I mean, Harrison was. I didn't even know if he was playing in the game in the first half. Davion. I mean, I really wish he's gonna get that 3-point shot in and just figure something out where he could do something and contribute something on offense.
Hey, Zach, coming into tonight, Davion in the last 11 games was shooting 45% from beyond the arc, which is, let's see, 18 points up from his season average. So he's doing a little bit better.
Yeah, he's been. That's true. He's been doing better. But what's his season still like? What, high 20s?
No, it would be high 20s.
Yeah,
not that much more than 27.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Anyway, yeah, he's been doing better, but I really, he's still got to show that consistency. I mean, that one air ball. I mean, I know I'm not gonna go too hard on one shot, but that was fairly wide open and just looked bad, and it just doesn't look good. But yeah, Keegan Murray. I mean, last 6 games, I don't know if what's going on with him. He's got to be more aggressive. I still see that passiveness from him. I really hope he gets it together. That's a big thing. I mean, he's got to be that two-way player that we want. I mean, his defense is still great, but man, I really I'm hoping he's gonna get more consistent. And then who else? Kevin Huerter, man. I mean, made a couple shots in the first quarter, but his defense is just tough. And the Phoenix Suns made some big shots, like Devin Booker over Harrison Barnes in that fourth quarter. Some dumb mistakes by the foul before the inbounds, and that was a bad
one. Why was Malik Monk even in the game there? That 99% of the time, that's a defense or an offense for defense substitution. 99% of the time.
The foul was on Keegan. I don't know why the commentators kept saying Monk, but I think the foul was on Keegan.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. That makes sense if Monk went to get the explanation, because he is by far the best player on the Kings at doing that.
Right. So I mean, a lot of our players, other than Sabonis and Fox, they just either really good at offense like Monk and not good at D, or Davion, who's good at D but not good at offense. We just want that two-way stuff to come in from all our players. And man, I don't think Davion's playable anymore. Honestly, he was getting beat by Booker a few times. I know Booker was making some tough shots, but he's just it's just tough. Come on, I'm sorry. I want to see more Keon.
Zach,
can we get more Keon, please?
Zach, what did Keon do tonight, man? Seriously.
I mean, Keon was he plays good D. He's a little bit longer than Davion, a little bit quicker, I think. But it's just earlier in the year when Keon was playing, he was making his 3-point shots and keeping the defenses honest.
Hey, Zach, I'll let you keep the guru in your name, because Keon was a +2 tonight. Davion was a -8.
Oh, yeah. I just think Davion is just not contributing a lot whenever he's in the game, and I don't know. I like Keon. I think we got to see more of him. I know he played a decent amount at the beginning, and then all of a sudden he stopped playing.
So Zach, you were listening to the last call, right? Or 2 calls ago, where the gentleman asked if should they make moves in the offseason if things go bad or worse, whatever. Okay,
sure.
So here's my question for you, and we were talking about the rotation after that as well. So Keon Ellis, you sign him to a 2-way contract, okay? So you sign him to a full-time roster contract from a 2-way. So if you think those minutes may be going to him or are going to him, play the hell out of him consistently so he's ready for the last 10 games of the season, the playoffs. Like, you can't expect the world of Keon if he's going to get spot duty, which is only 7 minutes tonight.
That's true. We do got to see a lot more of him. It's also interesting when we're playing Davion and Keon at the same time. I think that's kind of tough offensively.
Yes, it's terrible. You're right.
Like those minutes are just really hard. I don't like that from the rotation point, but I know it is tough with with Lyles being out and Sasha being out, so we're a little bit thin on the bench. So I gotta get it, but I just need like I don't know. I know we're going a little small today, playing against Phoenix here and there. So even though Len got some minutes, not sure. I don't know how those minutes went. Actually, I don't remember.
Alex, he didn't play terrible. He didn't score. He only played 7 minutes. Not really a ton of impact. He had 3 rebounds.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's just tough getting these losses. I mean, these losses like this loss is not as terrible as other ones. So
no,
we can't be too upset about this one. We should, we'll be more upset about the Detroit one and all the other bad ones we've had and losing 22-point blowouts and
well, Zach, that's where good teams stack up the goodwill, right? Like that's where when you play Charlotte, that's when you play Houston. Granted, Houston's a better team than we thought, but those really bad losses, that's what makes these wins okay. But the problem is this team has those losses too.
Yeah, they stack up at the end of the season, and you just look at back of those and say, what happened? And I really hope they get it together because we got a tough schedule. I think we got Denver twice, Miami, Clippers. I mean, that's a tough next stretch.
Yep, it's brutal, and you still got Phoenix again for a 5th time this year.
And if does that still count as for the season series if we tie them in the playoffs or something?
That's a good question, Zach. I'm not sure. I would have to check on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that because right now I think it's 2-2. But
yes, it is tied. The 5th is the decider. It should count, but yeah.
So. Hopefully, I'm just a little worried though because I mean, Dallas is on the come up.
They were the winners of the trade deadline.
Yeah, they got Gafford. Although I think, Gafford's really good. And I think they are actually going to do well and probably get past this, maybe get in the top 6. But people are getting too happy over the Gafford stuff when they played like the Wizards and stuff. So I get it. That I forgot the 2 games that Dallas had, but one of them was against the Wizards. So shouldn't be too excited. But I mean, I agree with you that I think they're going to be better and they'll be in the top 6 at the end of the season. But yeah, and then Warriors are the one team I'm always scared about. Those guys
watch the hell out. Watch the hell out. I think Steph Curry's doing it by himself, Zach.
Well, I mean, since Green came back, that's the big thing. They've been doing a lot better with Green back there. I think I saw that they're 3rd in net rating or something since he's been back, and so that's scary. And Kuminga's getting better, and those guys I think will. I mean, we're only 3 losses away from them, 2 losses, and then Lakers are you never know with them, so it's scary. I think we actually might be in the play-in this year, and we gotta hope that we play well that 1-2 games.
This is not the team. If you had to take this team and last year's team, this is not the one you would choose to be in a play-in. You would have wanted last year. So,
absolutely.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, what happens there? Every game's going to matter. This is the playoffs from here on out. The Warriors really quick. I'm glad you brought them up because I really like how they're developing Kuminga. And I hope the Kings take, and they have a similar approach with Keegan Murray. And then the other thing is they have lost more clutch time games this season than any other team in the NBA. I think they had 5 losses of only 1 point or less. So they could make some noise and not make some noise like they're going to come take the top seed in the West, but they're a team you don't want to see if they get in the playoffs.
Right, and Chris Paul's been injured, and he'll be coming back in the next few weeks, probably, or something like that. And Kuminga's
maybe they should sign his brother Cliff. Then you got 2 Pauls. That way you have one in case the other's always out injured.
That's a good point. I'd be confused who's in. It'll be like the Murrays, Keegan or Chris.
Yeah, exactly. Hey Zach, I appreciate the call tonight, man. You always make it better too.
Take care.
Yep. That is the NBA guru, Zach. Yes, I'm giving him the guru gloss. So here's what you got to know, Kings fans. Tough game tonight. Tough game. Amazing efforts. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Malik Monk, amongst just a few of them. Phoenix is a better team than the Kings this year. The season series is tied 2-2, but tonight Phoenix showed they are a better team and changed my mind about seeing them down the road in the playoffs should that occur. But this team just needs to get to the playoffs first. So, hey, we will be right back here tomorrow with all the coverage for the Denver Nuggets game. So as I said before, please, if you haven't already, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And then also, if you haven't subscribed, let me throw this up for you really quick. This is Grant's YouTube channel right there. You can just scan the QR code and subscribe if you'd like. Grant does original rants there. All of our programming's there as well. So go check that out. And then tomorrow morning, don't forget, please subscribe to my daily short form podcast that's called The King's Court. The King's Court with Ryan in Sacktown. It's on Apple, Spotify. You can follow me on Twitter, and you can find it there as well. I will have a new one up for you in the morning. And give that a listen. It's your only daily insider Kings short form podcast. Would appreciate you checking that out and give me your feedback. So anyways, we'll be right back here tonight. Tough night for the Kings. 130, 125 to the Phoenix Suns. By the way, callers and chatters, I am sorry I did not get to as many of the chats as I normally do. Callers, great job tonight. First-time callers, amazing job tonight. Grant and I get so fired up when we get first-time callers, so keep them coming. Hell, you know what? I'll stay here all night. You guys want to keep coming up? I'll stay all night. We just got another call, so we're going to go back to the calls. I keep trying to wrap up, but if we're going to do calls, let's do calls. Oh, they dropped off. All right. So we will wrap up. But anyways, Kings fans, I'm trying to bring your mood up a little bit. I get it. But we'll be right back here tomorrow night on If You Don't Like That. Thank you for joining me tonight. Kings in Denver tomorrow. Grant Napear, Jerry Reynolds right back here tomorrow night. Ryan in Sacktown saying